It is The Roses. This was originally made as The War of the Roses in the 80s, with directed by Danny DeVito. Now it's being made again based on a book by Warren Adler. This screenplay was written by Tony McNamara, and it was directed by Jay Roach. So I'm going to get started on this one because it was on my list. So let's talk about The Roses. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman as Theo and Ivy Rose, two people who they fall in love. They move to America together, and Benedict Cumberbatch, Theo, is a world-class architect. Ivy is a chef, and they're kind of taking turns on who gets to be the one that gets to pursue their dreams. Theo gets to start until his career comes crashing down. Then Ivy gets to be the one that gets to step up and fulfill her dream. And so Theo has to be the stay-at-home dad and take care of the kids, and the resentment starts to build up throughout, and then it turns into just toxic marriage between the two of them that goes completely chaotic by the end of everything. First thing, Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch, I mean, they're amazing. They're hilarious. They're so good at whatever they do, whatever they touch. This is the first time you got like full-on slapstick comedy humor from Benedict Cumberbatch. You always knew Olivia Colman had it in her. Like, she had bits and pieces of this in The Favorite and stuff like that. You have some side characters like Andy Samberg and Kate McKinnon who are almost more like distracting than anything. Like, at times I'm like, why are they there, and why is it them? It just they didn't seem to work for me. Overall, this movie, it's fun, it's funny. I don't know if it's good, but I mean, you'll be entertained by it. I'm going at 2.5 stars. I was hoping to like it more. I was hoping it would have a little more heart, but the whole point of it is like, let's laugh at the heartlessness of the two lead characters to the point that you don't really care about them because they don't care about each other. And I don't know if it necessarily works. So 2.5 stars for me. Todd, I know you recently just watched the original, so you have the perspective of being able to compare the original to this. What did you think of the original? What did you think of this, and how do they compare?
Yeah, I mean, it's based on a book. They're not really told exactly the same way, but I kept thinking, like, thank God Jude Law wasn't in this. Like, I mean, if he had played Theo, which he would have like 10 years ago or something, that it would have ruined things, because the key to the movie is you have to be able to relate to and like the characters. And if he was that character, it would have made you absolutely hate Theo, and then it would have ruined everything. Cumberbatch is good in this. I mean, I didn't know he was really gonna. I've never seen him do something quite like that. And Coleman as well. She's at a different speed and goofiness than I knew that she actually had in her. And the movie tries really hard to look nice. Like, the setting, sure, but like it's like a Nancy Meyers level of attention to the set designs and landscapes to make everything look like it's an exotic location and they're on vacation. The original is more like a dark movie with some comedy. This is just more like a dark comedy, and I'm not really sure how dark it necessarily even is. They say some mean things to each other and they push each other's buttons, but I mean, it's not really a bad thing. It was just more slapstick than actually dark, I think. And some of the movie is really funny, and some of it is so deeply unfunny that it gets to be almost boring. Like, like, I think it plays for discomfort, I guess, to the point of being funny, but those scenes are just like train wrecks. It tries so hard to be nasty that it loses the track of like what actually makes their characters tick and what makes them interesting. And it takes a long time to get to the actual meat of the movie, which is like the dinner scene. That's where the movie actually, I feel like, actually starts, and that's like 90 minutes in. And that thing starts out with a bang, but it also is kind of holding something back. Like, it's really careful to not condone the ugly behavior of the characters, and because it does so for like shock value. And like you were saying, McKinnon and Samberg, like, their reactions to things are the ones that we're supposed to feel or something, but they say them out loud, so it kind of ruins the actual moment. It completely loses its teeth in that way. McKinnon is terrible in this. Like, I mean, she is distracting, and I just thought she was awful. Like a Bill Paxton contender for this year. Allison Janney, on the other hand, is like an Amazing Larry contender. Her scene was awesome.
But she just had the one scene.
Yes, the one scene. That's why it's an Amazing Larry role.
Like, she almost had more time in the trailer than she did in the actual movie.
I don't even remember her in the trailer. I really like the two kids. Their side plot was really fun. I would have followed them for a whole movie. The movie's fine overall. It's not great. Similar to the original, I guess. I feel like it needed a more epic finale, and that would have pushed it up. But instead, it just kind of fizzles out at the end. So I'm at 2 stars. So I mean, but we are pretty much in agreement. Zach.
Well, and it doesn't help that the almost the entire finale is in the trailer. Like, you know exactly
what it's building up
this
to.
is going. Yeah. All right, Zach.
Yeah, I don't have anything necessarily radical or revolutionary to add. I'm with you guys, although I think I'm even a step lower on it. I think the problem with this movie is Jay Roach. Now, we've liked some Jay Roach movies in the past, but I think he's totally the wrong director for this material. I haven't sat through start to end The War of the Roses in 1989, but what made that movie so audacious was it's the dictionary definition of a dark comedy. And I get that this movie didn't maybe want to be as dark and maybe wanted to go more of a slapstick direction, but that's a dumb decision. And Jay Roach is a dumb director for this. This should have been like a Yorgos Lanthimos movie, quite honestly. Like, that would have been a lot more gripping and interesting and possibly explicit. An R-rated version of this, well, it is R-rated, but for language, I mean, nothing substantial. An R-rated movie that actually had sex and violence and drugs in it would have been a lot more interesting. But this movie just plays for a mass audience, and it's so lame. I thought of it as kind of like Home Alone for adults. Like, everything that you see in the trailers, like you guys were saying, it's only in the last 30 minutes. This movie takes forever to get going. We do not need the backstories, okay? I'm sorry, but it is not that interesting seeing his architectural dreams fall apart or seeing their meet cute in England. I do not give 2 shits about that, okay? What is fascinating about the movie, this is the one thing I will give it credit for, and I think Todd was starting to talk about it a little bit. I think it's kind of interesting that the dynamic that they have with their kids, because once her career starts taking off, not too unlike the formula of A Star is Born or even The Artist, once her career starts taking off and he's at home with the kids, he basically has a different style of parenting than she does. And the kids grow up to be kind of in his sort of line of what childhood should be like. That's kind of interesting. So I kind of get what Todd's saying. Like, if you had stuck with the kids and maybe like how their father almost like programs them to think a certain way about exercise and rejecting sugar and going to camp, and that sort of builds up resentment too. But the movie's not interested in that. The movie's only interested in jabs and barbs. And really, Kate McKinnon is awful in this movie. And it's really sad because she can be so hilarious. What's kind of strange about it is that she's kind of playing what we would normally see of Allison Janney type characters. I mean, she's constantly trying to seduce Benedict Cumberbatch in like the least funny ways possible. So maybe we needed a Kate McKinnon, Allison Janney switcheroo. Maybe call this Freakier Friday 3. This movie is just painful. I mean, it goes on way too long. The architecture in this movie, the houses in this movie, I mean, these people must have $10, $20 million. The architecture in this movie makes the Mountain Head house, makes the Tech Bros and Mountain Head look frugal, okay? These people have way too much money. It is just unfunny, painful, labored, use every adjective you want. I did kind of like the animation at the beginning and end, and this movie is a rare example of a movie with an opening title sequence that gets a thumbs down from me. So I like the opening and closing titles more, but it's a total waste. I feel bad because this cast is really talented, and this could have been an interesting project had they not opted it to be the most mass populist piece of shit ever. And of course, everybody in my theater, who was 70 plus, by the way, everybody in my theater loved it. I mean, they were laughing. I thought we were going to get an applause at the end of the movie. They could not get enough of this movie, and that sealed the deal for me. So I'm at 1.5 stars. Misanthropic, I get it, but a Yorgos version of this movie might have been cool, but this just spiraled out of control quickly and was pretty painful to watch.
Yeah, I I was alone in my theater, so I think I would have enjoyed it more if I had some other people to enjoy it with. This feels like a movie that could be a good communal experience.
Oh, there's nothing worse, Terry, than people laughing at things that are not funny. I mean, that did not help. Like, they were laughing at the lamest, and there's nothing funny in this movie. I don't think I smiled once at this movie, with the exception of the animation. That was cool looking animation. I quite like that. A little bit of animation in the title credit, in the end credits of the other movie we reviewed too. But there's nothing funny in this movie. Absolutely not. Even the Allison Janney scene, which I was happy for because I knew the ending. I knew the end was coming. Really unfunny stuff.
I think Kate McKinnon, she was trying to like resurrect Jane Lynch's character from 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah,
like that's the energy she was going for, but it doesn't work.
Well,
like
one scene is funny, two scenes maybe. The third, fourth, fifth time she does it, we get it. Okay, we get it. Let's move on to something else.
And I don't think I've ever seen Andy Samberg look so old.
And you know,
like he looked like Judd Apatow in this movie.
I thought he looked like Ray Romano. And the scene where they're at the dinner table trading barbs, and it's like there's a lot of discomfort. We saw that earlier this year in Black Bag. Black Bag had that scene, and it was so much funnier and better in Black Bag, which wasn't even a comedy, but that was like accurate. This movie just felt so over the top and just dumb.
Yeah, it was a movie that, instead of going for realistic, tried to go for over the top because it's trying to be the slapstick comedy, and it just didn't work. Okay, well, there we are.
I also want to know why are filmmakers so obsessed with chefs now? I mean, I know everything wants to be the bear, but like, yeah, I don't need you to see you cooking food in the movie. Like, I mean, it's always the same shit, that this stuff that looks like it doesn't look good, but it looks pretty. So, like, why do we care? Like, I mean, why is that something people are obsessed with?
I will say that one of my favorite scenes is the randomness of the food critic walking in the door, and she has to try and cook for her while she's high. That was pretty good. And like, she walks out, eat that, then eat that. Okay. I thought that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Anyways, 1.5 stars from Zach, 2 stars from Todd, 2.5 stars from me. We go in the same order, half stars up, just a couple levels down from the first one. So Thrice Decline for The Roses. That one is also in theaters. So if any of that sounds interesting, go ahead and check it out.